Good evening, and welcome to the 2019-2020 Teacher of the Year and Principal of the Year celebration. I am Halima Adekoya, a senior at Milford Mill Academy and a student member of the Board of Education. Thank you. I was honored just last month to speak at the State of Our Schools and share the many ways that teachers have supported my academic and personal growth. Also last month, I was honored to have my teachers, school counselors, and principal there to celebrate as I was named Baltimore County Young Woman of the Year. Thank you. They did not need to attend the event, but they did, because that is what great educators do. Great educators do more than what is expected of them. They inspire students to achieve and cheer them on when they do. I know the difference great educators make in lives of students. And on behalf of all students, I thank you. This night is to celebrate you. Please rise for the national anthem being performed tonight by John Carlos Lay, a senior at George Washington Carver Center and a vocal music prime. He will be accompanied by Dr. Evan Walker, Carver Center Music Department Chair.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, John Carlos and Dr. Walker. Thank you also to the Delaney High String Quartet, led by Barry Chesky, for performing before the ceremony. Offering greetings tonight from the Board of Education of Baltimore County is Board Chair Kathleen Causey. Welcome.
Good evening. I am honored to speak on behalf of the Board of Education and to share with you our deep appreciation for the incredible work that Baltimore County Public Schools teachers and principals do every day. The success of this school system is directly correlated to your dedication, skills, and talents. I am pleased that so many of my fellow board members could also attend this event to salute you. Here with us this evening, in addition to Ms. Adekoya, are Lisa Mack, Rod McMillian, John Offerman, Cheryl Pasteur, Lily Rowe, and Makita Scott. The hours that we devote to the Board of Education, we invest enthusiastically because we believe in the power you have to change the lives of our students, and we want to support and further your work. I saw a quote that said, "Only teachers stay up at night worrying about other people's children," and that is true. But it is true because the best teachers and principals understand that these are not other people's children. They are our children, our responsibility, our promise, and our future. I know that what makes you great teachers and principals is not just the late nights, but also the early mornings and the weekends spent planning and preparing, the hours devoted to professional development, the personal time that you spend communicating with students, parents, and the community. You give of your time, your hearts, your intellect, your creativity, and your professional expertise. And we can see that in the progress of our students and schools. I am so pleased that Baltimore County Public Schools takes the time to honor its most successful teachers and principals. In doing so, we honor all educators and bring positive attention to the rewarding careers that are in education. I want to thank you, and I want to congratulate all of our honorees. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Ms. Causey. It is my honor to next introduce a former student member of the board and former Patapsco High teacher, our county executive, John Olszewski, Jr. Welcome.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is so wonderful to be with you here tonight to celebrate all of our nominees for Teacher and Principal of the Year, and really to honor all of our county's educators. You know, one of the most important shared responsibilities we have is the education of our kids. And our educators are the greatest resource we have in making sure that we're successful in this effort. As many of you may know, I spent 7 years as a BCPS teacher myself, and it's personal for me. I'm acutely aware of just how hard your job can be. I know that each of you have had a student who you know will succeed. I know each of you who have had students who you know might succeed, but needs the right support, encouragement, and motivation. You each have students who want nothing more than to have someone to believe in them. Thank you for believing in them. And that's because each of you have been someone to that student. That's why you're here. You've been nominated because you go above and beyond to support your students, to support our students. Whether an administrator or teacher, we know your days don't start when students arrive in the morning. They don't end when the bell rings in the afternoon. You put in the extra time for a kid who needs a little more help, or you stay after to help lead a club team or to coach. Whether your students are 6 or they're 16, you're there for them every day, making sure that they have all the tools they need to succeed in life. To every nominee here tonight, and especially to our award winners, congratulations. And on behalf of all of Baltimore County residents, please accept our sincerest thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Olszewski. The next speaker is George Roberts, County Superintendent for the East Zone.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome on this beautiful day outside. Welcome to this beautiful event inside in recognition and honor of our Teacher of the Year nominees, our Principal of the Year nominees, and what surely is going to be an exciting evening as we celebrate your accomplishments. I'm speaking to you this evening on behalf of our Superintendent, Mrs. Verlita White, who, as many of you know, is currently grieving the loss of her mother earlier this week. And know that her heart is here, even though she cannot be here physically. All of you who have had just a moment with Mrs. White, whether it's a conversation in your hallways, a conversation in the grocery store, wherever you've had an opportunity to meet Mrs. White, you know that her heart and soul are always centered on the schoolhouse. As she visits schools every day, there's no other place she'd rather be than in your classrooms. And what does she see in your classrooms? She sees the hard work, the dedication. She sees two components. She sees the science of teaching, where it's not just building the lesson plan and the components of the lesson plan and implementing the lesson plan, but as importantly, it's the heart of teaching. It's the heart, as you've heard mentioned earlier in previous comments, that you put in every day, the attitude that you're not going to give up on any of your children, that you're going to do whatever it takes to make sure all of your students are successful. So it is with that spirit and that heart that I bring greetings on her behalf. And certainly, before I conclude my remarks, I'd be remiss if we didn't thank all of us, the students, the Delaney and Carver students who are performing for us outside in the lobby. So if we can give those students a round of applause, please. Also, what Mrs. White knows is that this work cannot be done in isolation. We want to thank again our board members who are here today and our County Executive Olszewski for their time spent with us today. So thank you for joining us. Additionally, we want to recognize our state partners in this work. Delegate Rick Metzger, who's joined us this evening in the rear. Delegate, thank you so much for joining us. State Senator Kathy Klausmeyer, and also Councilman David Marks. We want to thank them for their continued work and support of what we do in Baltimore County Public Schools. And lastly, but certainly not least, the Teacher Committee. All of the teachers and staff, if you're here, if you could stand, please, the Committee for the Teacher and Principal of the Year and the Planning Committee for this event. If you could also just stand more to be recognized for all of your hard work in selecting our Teacher and Principal of the Year. So it is this combination of science and art, or more to the point, the science and the heart of teaching that's being recognized here this evening. It's the principals who spend the hours and the countless hours, not just, again, building staff and building schedules and doing the nuts and bolts of what makes our schools run, but it's the thoughtful approach to instruction. It's their leadership in the community and their work with the stakeholders that allows our teachers to do what they do every day, which is touch our future. So with that, on behalf of our superintendent, Mrs. Verlita White, I'd like to congratulate all of you on this honor and wish you all a great evening. Thank you.
Let's give our student performers from Carver Center and Delaney High another round of applause. I would also like to thank our board members and county executives, John Olszewski, for their support. Additionally, let's take a moment to recognize State Senator Klausmeyer and Councilman Marks for their support. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Tonight, we are honored to have Teachers of the Year nominees from 164 schools, programs, and centers. These dedicated educators were nominated by their principals for their innovative work in the classrooms and their ability to meet the diverse needs of Baltimore County students. Nominees, please come to the stage as your name is announced. We ask that everyone hold their applause until all nominees have been announced. Ms. Causey will be greeting our nominees. She will be joined by Christina Byers, Community Superintendent for Central Zone, and Brandon Penn of Lyons Mill Elementary, our 2018-2019 BCPS Teacher of the Year. Susan Duvall, Arbutus Elementary. Riza Padilla, Arbutus Middle. Ann Stockbridge, Baltimore Highlands Elementary. Stephanie Lawson, Baltimore Battle Grove Elementary. Tyler Flynn, Battle Monument. Terry, sorry, I'm so sorry. Sydney Lane, Bear Creek Elementary. Karen Ritter, Boston Bedford Elementary. Stacy Steinberg, Berkshire Elementary. Bonnie Rowe, Canfield Early Learning Center. Heather Otel, Kearney Elementary. Christy Decker, Carroll Manor Elementary. Erin Gaudo, Catonsville Center for Alternative Studies. Stacy Latia, Catonsville Elementary. Christina DeSimone, Catonsville High. Betsy Willis, Catonsville Middle. Jennifer Kirby, Cedarmere Elementary. Jessica Ford, Chadwick Elementary. Carrie Sprucebank, Charlemont Elementary. Irene Check, Chase Elementary. Judy Delane, Chatsworth School. Donald Stephanie, Chesapeake High. Holly Dollison, Chesapeake Terrace Elementary. Glenn Siegel, Cockeysville Middle. Rachel Covell, Koga Elementary. Lindsay Reels, Cromwell Valley Elementary. Christine Nilsen, Crossroads Center. Katie Kratz, Deep Creek Elementary. Lisa Bell, Deep Creek Middle. Anita Thorson, Deer Park Elementary. Diane Pfeiffer, Chapel Hill Elementary. Lucine Gooden, Deer Park Middle. Brianna Lihan, Dogwood Elementary. Makai Hopkins, Delaney High. Kristen Ninos, Dumbarton Middle. Katie Kaparis, Dundalk Elementary. Sarah Atwood, Starkey, Dundalk High. Brian Banduranchin, Dundalk Middle. Jamie Hargett, Eastern Tech High. Ashley Henlin, Edgemere Elementary. Christine Weston, Edmondson Heights Elementary. Catherine Iyer, Elwood Elementary. Gil Little, Essex Elementary. Cassandra Collins, Featherbed Lane Elementary. Megan Hellegren, 5th District Elementary. Jody Cohn, 4th Garrison Elementary. Robbie Stout, Franklin Elementary. Mary Abigail Stifler, Franklin High. Andrea Palomosno, Franklin Middle. Dawn Byer, Fullerton Elementary. Rachel Jennings, General John Stricker Middle. Angela Stanford, George Washington Carver Center for Arts and Technology. Janita Thompson, Glenmere Elementary. Callan Colgrove, Glendon Elementary. Stephanie Nati, Golden Ring Middle. Lisa McDaniel, Garage Elementary. Janae Donahoe, Gunpowder Elementary. Lisa Bain, Hallowthorpe Elementary. Amanda Slazeman had Halstead Academy. Kimberly Bollinger, Hampton Elementary. Jeanette Marshall, Hartford Hills Elementary. Hannah Helmstein, Hawthorne Elementary. Kelly Caleb, Helpville Elementary. David Sobel, Hereford High. Sarah McShane, Hereford Middle. Ann Branch, Hamwood Elementary. Catherine Judone, Hillcrest Elementary. Linda Richard, Holabird STEM. Jamie Mitzgar, Honeygo Elementary. Julie Berther, Jacksonville Elementary. Alice Scott, Johnny Cake Elementary. Nicole Callahan, Joppa View Elementary. Ali Gardner, Kenwood High. Rachel Single, Kingsville Elementary. Amy Sir Jack, Lansdowne Elementary. Shana Benedict Johnson, Lansdowne High. William Schautzer, Lansdowne Middle. Danae Demby, Lock Raven High. Keith Lewis, Lock Raven Technical Academy. Tracy Stratmeyer, Logan Elementary. Rachel Myers, Lutherville Laboratory. Jamie Brucci, Lyons Mill Elementary. Jeffrey Matthews, Maiden Choice. Alexandra Benzana, Mars Estates Elementary. Jennifer Becker, Martin Boulevard Elementary. Amy Metallo, Mays Chapel Elementary. James Sims, Meadowwood Education Center. Rebecca Chisholm, Middle River Middle. Lindsay Catherman, Middleborough Elementary. Amanda Newman, Middlesex Elementary. Jennifer Benner, Millbrook Elementary. Walter Carter, Milford Mill Academy. Jacqueline Shanae, Newtown Elementary. Arlo Horton, Newtown High. Ann Gorton, Northwest Academy of Health Sciences. Casey Trusjan, Norwood Elementary. Christina Shaz, Oakley Elementary. Kimberly Myers, Overly Beach Elementary. Tiffany Dowell, Omar's Elementary. Lauren Rudd from Overly High, Rachel Mills, Owens Mills Elementary, Angela Novak, Owens Mills High, Andrea Paff, Padona International Elementary, Lauren Hughes, Parkville High, Daniel Glodek, Parkville Middle, Andrew Minsilli, Patapsco High School and Center for the Arts, Jennifer Lee, Perry Hall Elementary, John Pastari, Perry Hall High, Sarah Blair, Perry Hall Middle, Megan Thomas, Pikesville High, Gary Pulse, Pikesville Middle, Sarah Beitner, Pine Grove Elementary, Andrew Worthon, Pine Grove Middle, Teresa Philosopher, Fly Solar.
That's okay.
Fly Sulphur, Pinewood Elementary, Lisa Edo, Pleasant Plains Elementary, Stacy Agarlove, Pot Spring Elementary, Lindora Cleveland, Powhatan Elementary, Carlene Warrens, Pretty Boy Elementary, Devin Browse, Randallstown Elementary, Laura Brewery, Randallstown High, Valerie Constantino, Red House Run Elementary, Abigail Metcalf, Relay Elementary, Trisha League, Rudd Ruxton School, Michelle Dress, Ridgely Middle, Amanda Cook, Riverview Elementary, Kathleen Rickles, Rogers Forge Elementary, Elaine Cotella, Rosedale Center, Michelle Guerrero, Sandalwood Elementary, Barbara DeTerrace, Sandy Plains Elementary, Tara Shanae, Scotts Branch Elementary, Melody Mohar, Seneca Elementary, Michelle Hamlet, Seven Oaks Elementary, Maria Mann, 7th District Elementary, Stephanie Mahoney, Sandy Spring Elementary, Dan Larson, Solars Point Technical High, Ronald McFadden, Southwest Academy, Brema Oates, Sparks Elementary, Ashley Dowes, Sparrows Point High, Michael Dees, Sparrows Point Middle, Jason Adams, Demers Run Middle, Sarah Chapladine, Stone Lee Elementary, Kimberly Beckham, Sudbrook Magnet Middle, Erica Carraz, Summit Park Elementary, Terry Shards, Sussex Elementary, Colin Mahogany, Timber Grove Elementary, Jamie Oakley, Timonium Elementary, Scott Olson, Towson High, Jennifer Warren, Victory Villa Elementary, Emily Palomario, Villa Crest Elementary, Susan Wells, Vincent Farm Elementary, Sydney Bands, Warren Elementary, Emily Jacobs, Wellwood International Elementary, Elizabeth Gitzman, West Towson Elementary, Rachel Hobb, Westchester Elementary, Russell Height, Western School of Technology, Rudy Robbie, Western Elementary, Daniel Jones, White Oak School, Daniwa James, Wynard Elementary, Mary Beth Benich, Winers Middle School, Windsor Mill Middle School, Alex Mateo, Woodbridge Elementary, Jennifer Prosher, Woodholm Elementary, Shay Savo, Woodlawn High, David Waffle, Woodlawn Middle, Paul Gret, Woodmore Elementary. You may all applaud now. Before we present our Teacher of the Year awards, we are going to celebrate our VIPs, very important principals. What a job they have, creating safe and supporting learning environments, promoting academic rigor, hiring and managing staff, building vital connections to parents and the community. You know that feeling that you get when you walk into a great school? That sense of order and yet also energy and possibility? That is what great principals instill in their schools and why we appreciate them so much. Mr. Roberts, if you would like, please come back to the podium.
Mrs. White is so grateful for the leadership work of our principals, and we know we have several principals in the room today. So again, on her behalf, thank you for all that you do for our students, for our staff, and for our community in Baltimore County. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the elementary principal of the year for 2019-2020, Ms. Charlene Benke from Honeygo Elementary School.
Wow. Thank you. Good evening. I have had the special opportunity of building a school community from the ground up. Having this experience has caused me to reflect on some of the lessons I have learned as a school principal. While there are probably thousands, I have, in the interest of time this evening, whittled it down to the top 5. Number 1, celebrate your school community. I am so fortunate to have the opportunity to work in a school that has been embraced by our entire community. I am inspired by the overwhelming support we have felt for our school from our students, our parents, local businesses, and Baltimore County. We agreed that we wanted to build a school that would be a happy and kind place for children to work and learn. My own family is a part of this community, and I thank them as well for always putting up with my craziness. Lesson 2, surround yourself with colleagues who believe in the importance of our work as much as you do. At Honeygo, I have the opportunity to work alongside dynamic educators. Over the past year, we have come together and developed instructional frameworks that outline what teaching and learning will look like in our building. I am reminded every day how incredible our team is, and I am so proud of the work that they do with and for children. I've always been blessed with super assistant principals, and I thank my friend, Deirdre Lynch, for all she has done for our school and for me personally. Lesson 3, listen and learn from others. I have learned so much from my colleagues, including those who have opened new schools before me. Thank you to Sue Hirschfeld, Marilee Clark, and Steve Coco for sharing their wisdom and for supporting me over the past 18 months. Just as we principals push our teachers to strive to always be better, we as leaders get pushed too. I have been very fortunate to have the opportunity to be pushed by the best. Thank you to our East Zone leadership. Lesson 4, enjoy children. Teaching and leading in schools is difficult work, but it is the kids who truly inspire us, make us laugh, and bring joy to the work. When we make decisions in the best interest of children, we all rest easy at night, knowing we have done our jobs well. Lesson 5. This one I have to stress because it took me the longest to learn. Be grateful that you have the opportunity to be a principal. I am incredibly grateful for my amazing students, my awesome staff, and our supportive community. We are a part of Baltimore County Public Schools, and I thank our superintendent, Verlita White, for offering me the incredible responsibility of opening Honeygo Elementary School, and I thank her for inspiring all of us with her leadership, her love of instruction, and her commitment to students every day. Honeygo. Thank you.
Hello, baby. How are you? Good to see you.
I am incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to serve as the principal of Honeycomb Elementary School. When I first took the principalship 13 years ago, I knew I wanted to work alongside of teachers to help them improve teaching and learning, and I wanted to help children reach their full potential.
So what other strategy do you have?
Teaching and leading in schools is challenging, but the work is so worthwhile because we know we're making a difference every day for children. So our question today is, talk about how your small group instruction has transformed this year. The definition of a transformational leader is that they make things better through genuine collaboration amongst all school stakeholders. And at Honeygo, I get to do this every day, and that's why I love being a principal.
So let's give Charlene another round of applause. We are equally honored this evening to recognize our secondary Principal of the Year for 2019-2020, and that is Mrs. Monica Sample, Principal of Overley High School. So before we bring Monica out for a few remarks, let's watch a short video on her accomplishments.
So what did you decide for your college option?
I will be attending Delaware State University.
Oh, that's awesome.
An academic scholarship.
I absolutely love being a principal because I love working with our students each and every day, especially our students who feel like no one believes in them and they've given up hope, and knowing that they have someone they can talk to who believes in them and are helping them to be their best. So Ms. Brown, as we're planning for next year, the 2019-2020 school year, what are some of the initiatives for Abbott?
So we're going to focus on...
I also like working with my outstanding staff who works every day to make sure that the environment is safe for our students and that our students are literate and able to progress in the future. And that's why I love being a principal.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Monica Sample.
Good evening, everyone. I am very humbled and honored to receive this award. I would like to thank Baltimore County Public Schools for giving me this incredible opportunity to serve our Baltimore County scholars. It was 24 years ago that BCPS took a chance on me by allowing me to teach. Through my teaching experience, BCPS provided me with leadership opportunities which further nurtured my talent. It is through recognition and investment in my talent that I was given the great honor to first serve as assistant principal and ultimately principal at Overley High School. Although I am being recognized as Principal of the Year, I know that when doing the work of a servant leader, it is truly a team effort and that it takes a village to do this very important work. I'd like to say to my Overley scholars who reassure me daily of my God-given purpose. My scholars are resilient, kind, and determined individuals who come to our building with hope and the willingness to put aside any obstacles to learn. To all of my fellow principal colleagues who do the important work of leading their buildings and scholars towards successful outcomes each day, I am grateful to you. I am so lucky to be among an esteemed group of leaders. I am grateful for all the lessons that I continuously learn from my colleagues. I would like to thank my incredible administrative team, Brittany, Rob, and Kevin. I honestly could not do my job without their constant, steady, and professional support. They are an important part of the puzzle of transforming Overley from good to great. To my outstanding Overley staff, who work tirelessly to do the important work of educating and supporting our scholars. My staff always gives me so much pride when I see how truly hard they really work and their passion for Overly and our scholars. To the wonderful parents in Overly community who work in partnership with me in the school, I appreciate your partnership in order to help our scholars to be successful. And I would like to thank my mentors, Dr. Whitley, Dr. Martin Knox, Penny Parker, and Sam Mustafa for teaching me that if there were no problems, there would be no opportunities for growth. Being able to take on problems as a leader and reframe them into opportunities to learn and grow has been invaluable in my leadership journey. Most importantly, I want to thank my parents who have always loved and supported me unconditionally. To my husband and soulmate, Sergio, I could not be the person that I am or live my purpose without your unconditional support and your selfless sacrifice. To my 2 little girls, you are the reason that I do the work that I do. Your innocence, love, and support show me how important it is to nurture the future leaders of tomorrow. And to all of my closest friends and think partners, thanks for listening to me when I have my daily highs and lows with patience, love, and understanding. I really feel blessed that I'm a principal and I get to be a dream nurturer, one who consistently and unconditionally supports our scholars by letting them know that they can accomplish their dreams and that they are worthy and capable of success. It is my pleasure and honor to serve our scholars, staff, and community each and every day. I thank you so much for nominating me and giving me this title of Principal of the Year, and it's a wonderful and incredible honor.
Tonight, we will name a new Baltimore County Teacher of the Year. Last year on this stage, Brendan Penn was named Teacher of the Year. Throughout this year, as in past years, Mr. Penn has continued to share his enthusiastic love for all things STEM with students at Lyons Mill and with students and teachers throughout the county. Mr. Penn has been a fabulous representative of the quality of teaching throughout Baltimore County. Here to share his experiences as Teacher of the Year is Mr. Penn.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for that warm introduction. I'm a little starstruck. I got to meet our student board member. She's just incredible. I've been following her all year. She's doing amazing things. I'm honored to be here tonight as your outgoing BCPS Teacher of the Year. I'd first like to congratulate the 5 finalists sitting here with us on stage. I remember that feeling sitting there, so I'm going to make this brief because I know you guys want to get on with the show. I'd also like to thank and congratulate every nominee from the 173 BCPS schools that are here with us tonight. One of the most rewarding opportunities of this past year was serving on the committee to select this year's Teacher of the Year. Reading through my pile of 20 or so applications and then reading all of the applications because I was just so hooked, it was a rewarding and a humbling experience. The passion in your words as you described what you do each and every day leapt off the page and made selecting a new Teacher of the Year very difficult, but it was also reassuring and inspiring to read all the different ways that teachers in BCPS are providing meaningful, impactful, and equitable learning experiences for our students. It's surreal to be back here in this beautiful space, no tears this time, I promise, where my life was forever changed. The journey that one finalist is about to embark on is a truly unique experience. It's a very small club, Baltimore County Teacher of the Years. I need to thank the Maryland State Department of Education for providing cohort visits for all the local County Teachers of the Year in Maryland. We received behind-the-scene tours at Lockheed Martin and Calvert Cliffs Power Plant and spoke with current engineers who are actively recruiting and looking for young engineers, and those jobs continue to go unfilled. I stood on this stage just a year ago and stated my platform would be to work on providing elementary STEM learning experiences, not only because they are fun and engaging, but it is critical work for all students to acquire these necessary skills, such as creativity, design, collaboration, and engineering. We traveled to Southern Maryland down to Smith Island, I'm from Long Island, very reminiscent down there. It's kind of a crabbing community. And we learned that how crabbing and the health of the Chesapeake Bay is critical to a sustainable life in that region of our state, and that their way of life is slowly washing away with the rising tide levels. Structural engineers and problem solvers is what we build every day, are the solution that we need as a state to address these issues. The cohort was fortunate enough to tour the White House and tour the Maryland General Assembly House. I had the opportunity to sit with senators and delegates and discuss how we can work together to incorporate STEM education into more curriculums around the state. We are working with legislative lawyers on how to possibly craft a bill promoting the importance of STEM. I am more passionate than ever to create these opportunities, but like most things in life, it's not that simple. I was naive in my teaching career. I was really focused on my school, my classroom, my grade level, my content, but I didn't really understand sort of the political context around education. The Kirwan Commission was tasked with identifying possible solutions for the crisis that we face in education. Their 5 main principles were universal pre-K, high quality and diverse teachers, college and career readiness paths, more resources to ensure that all students are successful, and accountability. I think every educator in here and parent can agree that these programs are a necessity. The funding needed was $3.3 billion, and our state received $800 million over the next 2 years, and that falls short of what is necessary. It is important that your dedication and your passion that was so evident on the page doesn't just stay in your classroom, but it also can be felt in our county and state legislative offices. Before I finish, I need to thank my support system. This year would have been impossible without it. My family, my brother, my sister-in-law, my mom, my dad, my beautiful girlfriend Michelle, who's here tonight and continually pushes me forward and is a constant motivator to do what's best for kids. And we're extremely competitive, so I can't let her win, so I've been really trying to stay motivated. My Lyons Mill family, my previous 3rd grade team, my special area team, my administration, and especially the Education Foundation of Baltimore County. It's rare to have a foundation that's dedicated solely to improving the quality of education for an entire county, let alone a county of this size. I'm grateful for our superintendent, Mrs. White. Our prayers are all with her tonight, but she demonstrated grace and a laser focus on issues that are impacting our schools. She has been one of my biggest supporters throughout my teaching career, and I cannot thank her enough. I am eternally grateful for the opportunity to represent all of the teachers here tonight and all the amazing teachers in Baltimore County. The work is arduous, it's daunting, and it's tedious, but we are far from finished, and we need to do this work together because we know that our students deserve a high-class education facilitated by dynamic teachers. It's also important, though, to take time to celebrate those teachers. So I'm blessed to have this a year-long celebration, but now that's coming to an end, and I'm excited to celebrate one of these amazing educators tonight. That's it. Let's get going. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Penn. Now let's get to know our new Teacher of the Year finalists through the perspectives of their students. If I can offer a little stage direction, Ms. Causey, after each video, when the students call their teachers up to the stage, please greet the finalists and present the trophy. You will be joined by Dr. Raquel Jones, Community Superintendent for the West Zone. First, we welcome Tori Rust and Chris Olblitzen from Catonsville High School.
Hi, my name is Tori Rust, and I'm a student of Misty Simone's in her Child Development 2 honors class. And because of that, I'm a teacher in the preschool at Catonsville High School. And this is one of my preschool friends. Can you say hi?
Hi.
This class is like no other class I've ever been in. We are immersed in a friendly classroom environment, and then we're given the great opportunity to design and work in a preschool classroom. We plan our own lessons and we work with the kids independently. I'm so very grateful for this experience, and I will remember child development and Ms. DeSimone for the rest of my life. I have struggled with a lot this year, and she gave me the courage and strength to overcome my recovery after my surgery last month. She helped me through so much and has made a lasting impact on my life. She is the reason we are both here today. Ms. DeSimone has made an impact on so many future teachers, preschoolers, and families in our community. I'm excited to introduce Ms. DeSimone. Say it loud, say it loud.
I decided to Miss DeSimone.
Okay, good job.
I'm going on the cruise.
Are you?
Jealous.
All right, so there's nothing like watching a student experience what it's like to be a teacher. So I teach Child Development 1 and Child Development 2. And we run a fully operational preschool in our program. And so it really gives students the opportunity to be in leadership positions. I love that we can give them those really true skills that are going to help them whatever they go into. And I feel like they learn a lot.
1, 2.
Miss DeSimone is unique and I think talented in the sense that she wears two hats in this building. The first hat is obviously as a CHS faculty member, a teacher of our students, our Catonsville High School students who are in the child care development program. But then she also has to wear the hat of a preschool facilitator or manager, and she has to make sure that she's preparing our Catonsville High School students to be able to run this fully functioning preschool. So it's really impressive.
As a student, I really struggled in school, and I didn't always feel supported by my teachers. And I watched my mother, who was a teacher, really go that extra mile for her students. And it was always just so awesome to see. And I knew that I had the skills and the fortitude to really do that for my students.
I'll say the reason why she's my favorite teacher is because during the process of me figuring out my career, I want to be a nurse midwife. I was thinking, I was like, what do I want to do? Why is this important to me? And she really helped me take child development into turning into something that meant something to me.
I think it's interesting to see which kids seem to have an idea of what they're doing, and which of our friends are not understanding the directions. So that's something you can also write down on your case study. I love that I help cultivate young teacher leaders in my students. It's really great to work at a school where you're seeing the future of education every single day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. DeSimone. Now please welcome Angela Stringfellow and Abby Lawson from Crossroads Center.
Wanna go? Good afternoon. My name is Angela Stringfellow. First, I will start off with a poem. Every day you greet your students with a smile upon your face. Though paperwork the night before seemed like a race, money's not your motivation. It's the love for what you do. Your heart, that special calling to which you will always stay true. Your students are your motivation. Dedication is to them. To you, each child's unique, special, a beautiful little gem. Some days are just demanding, and frustration takes its course. Then you see those little faces. Their inspiration is your force. Each day you're in your classroom, remind you why you're there, making a difference in children's lives. Within your heart, you share. There's a special pride in teachers and love for what you do, and appreciation always shared between those little lives and you. My teacher, Ms. Nilsson, is an amazing person. She is very kind-hearted. She is very open to help. I love the bond we have. She is my teacher best friend. When I don't understand something, she is there to help. When I'm going through things, she is there to tell me what to do. She is very positive and loving. She's a very fun and very caring person.
I would like to introduce Ms. Nielsen as a very loving, caring, and extremely outgoing teacher. She is my favorite teacher out of all the teachers I've ever had. She cares so much for her students, even the ones that often act up in her class. She's always on top of everyone, making sure they're good and setting them up for success. Ms. Nielsen has helped me stay on track to graduate this year. She's helped me pass my Spanish 1 and 2 classes on Apex, as well as my music class. If I had a teacher like Ms. Nelson for all my other school years, I would have stayed out of trouble and actually learned in my classes and enjoyed coming to school. She's been one of the few of my motivations this year. Unfortunately, not every school can have her, but I was blessed with her, and if it wasn't for her and everything she's done for me, I would not be graduating this year in May. She is really a huge blessing, and I know she deserves this. Thank you, Ms. Nelson.
We have another adjective here too, though. Where do we see another word describing a noun? Ashley? Foul. Excellent. And what is foul describing? The magic. Yes.
I chose to nominate Kristen because she came to us wanting to work with students who had barriers to overcome, obstacles that kept them from being successful. And that was what she stated in the job interview. And since she's been with us, that's exactly what she does every single day.
I love the ability to help students do things that they didn't think that they could do. Crossroads is special because we strive to provide academic intervention for students who struggled with test scores or grades or attendance, and usually all kinds of difficulties outside of school. I love the opportunity to provide restorative circles, to provide a safe space, to provide food, to provide the needs that our students need to be successful and to believe in themselves again. You're partially there. Unchanged is describing minds, but were their minds unchanged? Or how were their minds unchanged? Or how long were their minds unchanged?
Ms. Nielsen is a very outgoing teacher. She cares about everyone, and she tries her best to make everyone successful. If it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be on track to graduate this year.
What I've learned from Ms. Nelson basically was respect and always listen from the heart and always be open to experience new things and to just follow my dreams.
Fanboys, have you done this before in English? I'm doing this with my seniors with their bridge project. If you combine two sentences using fanboys and a comma, it would be a coordinating conjunction. My students inspire me. I love them. I am so impressed with their resilience. They have endured unbelievable things. People talk about grit, but they are not people in the classroom. Our students could not be any more determined or any more perseverant or any more resilient, and they are already doing great things and are going to go on and do even greater things.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Nelson. Now please welcome Audrey Chung from Honeygold Elementary.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Audrey Chung, and I am a 5th grade student in Ms. Metzger's ELA class at Honeygold Elementary School. I'm here to tell you a little bit about my teacher who has been nominated to the top 5 for BCPS Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Metzger, the name that brings a smile to everyone's faces. The name of one of the most intelligent, kind, passionate, and confident teacher I have ever met. Mrs. Metzger is someone that everyone in our class looks up to. When someone is feeling down, the spark in her lights them up with joy. She has a way of meeting everyone's attention with just her eyes. Nobody can ever be distracted by the way that she teaches. She lights up the room with her radiating positivity. Mrs. Metzger always inspires me and tells my class that we are all family. She understands exactly how we feel during hard times because she has also been through challenging things in her life. She knows each and every one of us and teaches us to step out of our bubbles and be ourselves. Every day, Miss Metzger makes me want to step inside our classroom because of the excitement she brings me to learning. She tells everyone in our class that we are all special in different ways. Mrs. Metzger has a way of making everything fun and engaging no matter what it is. I don't know how she does it, but it is great. She encourages all of my classmates and me to persevere and find passion in anything we do. She inserts knowledge in our brains in the most exciting ways. Mrs. Metzger's favorite quote is "Own your weird," and she makes sure that this is always enforced in our classroom. I love Miss Metzger because she makes me feel motivated at all times. Mrs. Metzger is my favorite teacher, has been, and always will be. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the extraordinary Mrs. Metzger.
Everything starts as a what? A blank page. You got it. Good job. All right, talk to me real quick about the little girl then.
Mrs. Metzger is an amazing teacher for our boys and girls at Huntingdale Elementary School. She has gathered their respect, the students' respect, the staff's respect, and our community's respect in just the short time that we've been open. Mrs. Metzger is the epitome of what we would want teachers to be in our school system. She is on task, she is child-centered, she is an amazing teacher.
I love the kids, to be completely honest. They just bring so much inspiration into my classroom every single day. But I also love the challenge that comes along with this job. I love the fact that trying to find something that may be mundane or a concept that might be foreign to a child and figuring out a way to truly spark that engagement and inspiration and excitement for learning, that's part of what drives me and what I love coming into every single day in this classroom.
I've learned from Ms. Metzger that you always have to be passionate about what you're doing, so you never give up and never fail just because you don't want to do it. And you always have to work hard, and hard work pays off. She's a good teacher because she really understands us and she gets everything done and she teaches us what we need to get done and she makes it really exciting. So each person in our class is able to be excited to come to school and nobody is not focused because when she says things, it makes it more exciting, so everybody's listening to it.
What inspires me is most definitely the children that I teach and I reach every single day. Went through a very challenging time in my life about 3 years ago, and I learned the whole new meaning of just as much as we need our kids, they need us, and it's a twofold relationship. And just knowing that these children were my why and coming in every single day and hearing their stories and being inspired by what they're going through and just knowing that they look to you to be here every single day, it makes you show up in the hard times, and it really just kind of inspires me to continue on even through challenging times I may be having in my life. So the kids are truly what are my inspiration and my drive every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Metzger. Now please welcome Cassidy Shore from Relay Elementary.
Hi, my Cassidy. I go to Real Elementary School. I'm in 3rd grade. Mrs. Metcalf is the best teacher ever. She helped me with my reading for 3 whole years. It's fun with Mrs. Metcalf in her room. She has lots of cool things like putty and slinkies to help you read. I'm happy I work with Mrs. Metcalf because she taught me something I never knew. A slinky can help me read. We play games like trash ball and sticky word ball. She makes reading fun. I am happy because now I can read. I can do anything I put my mind to. I'm excited. I am excited to introduce my teacher, Mrs. Metcalf.
All right, so guys, today we are going to blend, yes, and segment sounds by moving our objects so that we can read and write fluently. Who remembers what fluently means? I love the relationships I get to form with the students, and I love getting to be a changing part of a kid's life every day. You can show up and make a huge difference in the life of those kids. Most of the students I work with have had a lot of struggles, and getting to find that way that helps them figure out how to meet with success is incredibly rewarding. Seeing that kind of look of shock when they get it is just so exciting.
Abby Metcalf is an incredible educator. As you watch her in the room, you get the feeling that she works with every child and is so invested in every student, like her own child is sitting right in front of her. It is amazing. She's going to do everything in their power to make sure that she finds the gifts in every child that's in front of her, unlocks those gifts, and gives them the power to be, lifelong learners.
Well, she's really fun because we get to learn a lot, and longer I go with her, more I learn. She is a nice teacher.
My younger brother has dyslexia. We didn't know that until he was 17. He struggled throughout school, and watching basically the schools just fail him over and over and over again, and he was shuffled between the different programs, and watching him struggle forever. And then finally when he was 17, we found out why. And as a teacher now, knowing what we could do and trying to prevent that from happening to other students, it keeps me going every day.
Please join me in welcoming Miss Metcalf. And now to introduce the last of our finalists, please welcome Destiny Alvarado Castillo from Southwest Academy.
Good evening. My name is Destiny Alvarado Castillo. As a vocal arts student at Southwest Academy, I'm honored and privileged to speak about my favorite teacher, Mr. McFadden. Nearly all of Mr. McFadden's life experiences have prepared him for his current role as a choral arts teacher at Southwest Academy. He assisted his mother in preparing Sunday school lessons as a child. He conducted his first church choir at the age of 12. In college, he created his own nonprofit organization focused on art education. He founded the Urban Choral Arts Society in Baltimore. Ms. McFadden serves as the chairperson at Southwest Academy, Department's Fine and Art Digital, the seventh grade team leader and mentorship coordinator. He's in his 8th year as a teacher and 4th year at Southwest Academy. Mr. McFadden is patient, hopeful, trustworthy, and inspiring. He has the ability to change the way I walk and leave his classroom. He believes in you even when you don't believe in yourself. He encourages all students at my school to be the future leaders. I started off by being shy in his class, but ended up with more confidence in myself. He empowers his students to be unique and to be who we naturally are, all while teaching us to embrace our natural gifts and talents. I'm excited to introduce my teacher, Mr. McFadden.
I love coming to music class.
Come on, sopranos. Thank you.
Even though singing is not my thing, Mr. McFadden brings the energy to the class, and even if the whole class is feeling down, he gives everybody joy and happiness, and I know he really cares about us.
Come on out, Anaya.
I nominated Mr. McFadden for Baltimore County Teacher of the Year because Mr. McFadden is the total package. He really embodies Baltimore County Public School values, in that he believes that all students can learn and achieve.
Bring it out. Good.
And in addition, he uses the teaching platform to not only to musically educate our students, but he takes opportunities to socially and emotionally grow our students.
Talk to each other about what you think. I don't teach to gain any type of recognition. I teach to change lives. And the reason why we're stopping is because that I'm going there is at a what dynamic? So was the beginning at a Forte dynamic also? Yeah. And the reason why I do that is because I had incredible teachers when I was in school who served as role models for me, which I still talk to, connect with, and share experiences with. And I really think that young people need to have folks like that in their lives, but mostly in school so that they can have a sense of hope, something to aspire to do and become, and to really have a role model that can push them to really actualize success at great levels. And come forward, need you. Good, have a seat for me, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ronald McFadden. Thank you to all the students who introduced the Teacher of the Year finalists. You did a great job. Let's give them a round of applause. And now, it's time for the big moment, announcing the 2019-2020 Baltimore County Public Schools Teacher of the Year. Mr. Roberts has that great honors. Mr. Roberts.
Thank you, Halima. As Halima mentioned, it truly is my honor to announce the 2019-2020 Baltimore County Public Schools Teacher of the Year. So I'm doing this with one hand. Kristen Nielsen from Crossroads Center. Whoa, Kristen. Oh, okay.
You got a speech.
Do you want me to hold that?
Thank you, please. Wow. So this is kind of ironic after Brendan's speech. I actually advocated in Annapolis this winter, and I spoke to some individuals regarding the Kerwin Commission, and I offered my expertise and was ignored. So perhaps they will listen, or at least let me give some testimony now, which would be great. So thank you very much for that. I'm so honored to be here and so grateful to even be considered in the company of respected colleagues like McFadden, who champions choral arts. Again, a round of applause. Thank you. Yes, and for DeSimone, child development. Thank you. Metcalf, inclusion. And Metzger, 5th grade. So yes, such an honor. Congratulations again to each of the finalists for all that they do for students and colleagues. Thank you to all of my scholars and my family and my friends, my administrators and my colleagues. Thank you for coming and supporting me. I am so grateful to each of you for keeping me sane. More than I can convey. Congratulations to each of this year's finalists, all of the teachers of the year. Thank you to all that you do. Another round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you. Teaching is a collaborative activity. I know that if we feel like we are in silos, we are not. We are better, and BCPS is better because of each of you. I am grateful to have worked with and to have learned from Horton and Johnson and the Maryland Writing Project. I'm glad to have experienced the collaboration in Lansdowne High School's English department, that we are all better working together. I love my students, my colleagues in teaching. I spend countless hours planning and replanning to try to create, to modify my lessons to meet the needs of my students. And I really do focus on equity. And in the spirit of my equity journey, I want to try to center myself on the compass. I'm really feeling a lot right now. But I do try to stay in the acting quadrant. I realize I'm just one of countless white women in countless classrooms around the country. One of the ways I'm different is I know we need to recognize, to discuss, and to change injustice and inequity in our society and in schools. I have been striving to foster equity for years as I've mourned injustices inflicted on my colleagues and my students of color, and protested whenever possible. I've lost students I've loved, including Breonna Floyd in Jordan, Canada. In 2016, I had the privilege of presenting on equity at the AP conference in Anaheim, California. This January, I had the opportunity to attend BCPS's Introduction to Leading for Equity training. I plan to be silent and to listen to and to learn from the experiences of our colleagues of color to become better educated, which I'm still trying to do. I was already acutely aware of white privilege and its damning effects and realized I had more to learn, but I was wrong that it wasn't my job to help to teach about equity. In college, I volunteered daily at the Girls and Boys Club with a friend, Siobhan. And a young blonde girl thought that we were sisters because we shared snacks, but there were two distinct differences between us. Siobhan's skin was black, and she was not accepted into the College of Education despite applying every semester. And the reason given to her was her interview skills, which I still don't understand. I fainted and hit my head on a table during a presentation in my health class, and Siobhan was better spoken than I was, and still am. This was the first time I recognized how unjust our society could be and how inept I am at addressing it. At equity training, Angie, a former grad school colleague, shared that she attained her teaching certificate by mailing in her praxis and claiming to be white with a GED equivalency. A phenomenal Black educator and friend is here with us in the audience, but he's planning to have to work for Baltimore City because he does not yet have his teaching certificate. We must provide better, more equitable, more accessible, affordable pathways into education for our educators of color. Decades have passed, but racism continues to prevent talented individuals from entering classrooms, and chases great educators out of schools, our county, and the profession. Last week was Poem in Your Pocket Day, and I chose to share Hughes's Let America Be America Again, the land that never has been yet and yet must be, the land where every man is free. Yet is the key word. One of my students shared that ICE raided Free State Sports Arena earlier this year. Another student shared he thought he was being robbed when a mystery shopper grabbed his backpack. The insidious impacts of implicit bias and racism are destroying our society. We need to acknowledge and address them. We must do better for all of our students and colleagues. Too many talented Black educators are leaving education and BCPS because they're not being supported and appreciated. Too many talented Black and brown students are being shortchanged. There are no such things as apolitical classrooms. We have an obligation to be anti-racist. And we need to let our students lead the way. One of my proudest moments as a teacher was the sit-in at Eastern Tech following the racial slur scrawled on the softball field and posted on social media. Several of my former scholars were moved to action and emailed the principal that night. They were very respectful and conveyed their desire to hold a 10-minute sit-in the next morning. This turned into an all-day event with readings and speeches by students and teachers. We spent the morning in the cafeteria and the afternoon in the gym. No one spoke twice. An introverted former freshman asked me why no one made a specific point. He had missed me sharing my Black Lives Matter poem that morning. I invited him to share, and he spoke that afternoon. That same January, I worked with several of my students in Hargett, a fellow teacher of the year, at Towson University to try to improve our school's community. One of those same students is now a BCPS alum who is pursuing a degree in education. Our BCPS students are powerful, and we need to provide the opportunities for them to continue to compel positive change. I'm grateful to work at Crossroads, where we strive to meet each of our students' needs, academically and social-emotionally. Scholars who struggle with attendance, grades, and/or test scores via the Thrive Report are recommended by their home schools. We are able to provide free breakfast and lunch and to engage in restorative practices and circles. We work to model effective communication and problem solving. I strive to help students to rebuild their academic self-confidence and skills to attain success. So much of our time and effort is spent trying to restore what has been lost. I'm often vulnerable with my students. I try to bring them my very best every day, though I wish we could devote more time to strengthening and less time to salvaging. Having to make the most with too little has local roots. The shameful practice of redlining began here in Baltimore. I see it in my own Middle River neighborhood by the sheer number of neighbors of color who have to wait at the MTA bus stops daily. The ramifications are also wide-reaching with the number of 1- and 2-star schools in our own redline communities. Crossroads is a 1-star school because our students struggle with attendance, grades, and test scores. However, that is why we recruit our students from their home schools. It is as though we are being punished for our purpose. I'm grateful to work with Carla Sizer and Damaris Brown, equity-minded colleagues and leaders who are trying to improve Crossroads by confronting myths and microaggressions. Who would tell the mother who struggled to work and care for her 3-year-old and pay her bills to pull herself up by her bootstraps? Who would tell my African-American freshman who was called the N-word in the grocery store that the world is colorblind? I am just a white woman, but I see how difficult and painful and exhausting and exasperating it is to navigate racism, and as a teacher and as a parent and as a friend and as a colleague. We all must share the responsibility and the work of exploring our own implicit biases and seeking to make our schools and our school system a better place for each of our students and our employees. 5 years ago, I went back to graduate school to get my reading specialist certification because I realized I struggled to help my struggling readers with adolescent literacy. When I looked at my students' elementary test scores, I could see how assessments destroyed students' engagement in reading. Scores continued to drop as students aged. 1- and 2-star schools are forced to narrow the curricula to the tests as schools are lacking the resources needed to provide the trauma-informed resources our students so desperately need and deserve. The state of Maryland is discussing community school resources, but we need the money and local support to provide these critical resources. It's a catch-22. We need to foster student curiosity and critical thinking and collaboration. Student choice and voice matter. Scholars need time to engage in independent reading. They need to want to read. Students need to meet characters and perspectives that remind them of themselves and those of classmates' cultures and backgrounds, but also those from around the world. They need not only mirrors and windows, but also trains and TARDISes. Carroll County employs reading specialists at both middle and high schools. We need to help our students to strengthen their skills and their outlooks. I agree with Mrs. White that we need to make literacy a priority in BCPS. My wish is that more of our energy would be devoted to a growth model of learning and assessment. We have so many talented, diverse, unique students who have so much to offer beyond data points. Setting goals and celebrating progress could embolden students to take control of their learning and to compel their own growth. Individualization and personalization matter, and students need and deserve quality feedback. This can happen more effectively when we have more teachers and smaller class sizes in which to individualize and personalize instruction, hold conferences, and provide better feedback. Educators deserve the same well-being and support to compel our own professional learning and growth. We have so many amazing, dedicated, caring, knowledgeable educators in Baltimore County and across the state. I look forward to helping to make BCPS a more equitable place to work and to learn. I do love my students. They make me a better person every day. They make me more optimistic and more hopeful that we can make our world a better place. They also teach me to love more wholeheartedly than I may otherwise. This closing comes from a thank you letter from an 8th grader at Deep Creek. I hope everywhere you go, happiness is already there waiting for you, and that every road you choose to take awaits you with amazing mysteries and greets you with great compassion. Thank you.